So one of the other things you brought up in your video was taking the energy that would go towards Burning Man to do other things. And that really resonated with me because I think, the very first regional was Austin Flipside. And it started because the person who started it, George Pop, St. Tiki, wanted to bring that experience to his friends who wouldn't go out to the desert. And I think that that's an important lesson. I think that we need to remember and bring forward is that you can do this at home.
Mm-hmm.
You can do it with your friends. Flipside started with St. Tiki and 30 of his friends who went out into a field in Texas,
Mm-hmm.
and now it's a 2,500 person event.
And 2,500 people, that's a solid experience. That's not just like a campfire. That's a lot. There's 14 years ago when I went to Burning Man for the first time, I came back from it and felt like I was mute because I just could not communicate with anybody. No one understood what I was talking about. It's like I've gone into Plato's cave and I've come out and I'm like, don't you see? There's so much. But now, as we've seen, it's not a secret. And so there's a lot of people that are craving this experience. So having the enthusiasm, the energy, having this huge roadblock that then forces us to go in other directions can be what is required to take this from a vacation once a year to an ongoing part of our culture in all of our different cities.
Right.
I think that and it can mean many things. Some things is festivals. Some things, I've talked to a lot of people who have explored or even are doing, communal living type situations where a number of families or couples buying property that then they will have party work weekends where everybody comes and will build a new structure on the land.
Right.
And so it's and their attitude was, look, we've done Burning Man for a while. Now we want to take all that energy and money and start to, instead of leave no trace, let's leave an awesome trace.
Right.
That was one of the taglines I just put this thing called Tribal Convergence, where it was people. I kind of thought of it as like Burning Man grad school.
Right.
They'd all had their heads blown. And now they were living these lives and okay, well, how can we make this participatory lifestyle with our families sustainable? And I think that's a really it's. As awesome as Burning Man is, after a number of years, you got to start asking that question, how can this be more than just a vacation once a year?
Right, yeah. And what I've found is, as I've been traveling, is that there's kind of almost I don't want to quite say a formula, but it's almost a formula that, if you want to create a community, if you want to hang out and meet more people with like minds, there's some things you can do that are pretty easy. One is start hosting some kind of regular gathering, once a week, once a month, sometime. I can almost guarantee you, without 100% certain, that there are people in wherever you're living, that share the same values. And all you have to do is start letting people know that if they come to the local restaurant on Tuesday night, they're going to meet other people with like minds. You do some kind of project, and it could be anything. It could be an art project. It could be something like what Halcyon does with First Saturdays, where he helps the homeless. It can be creating a festival or something like that. You got something that brings the community together, and then just watch it grow. It's just going to start to grow because more people want this connection, the connection that we share. That's the thing that a large part of our U.S. culture misses.
Well, and there's something that there's a understanding when you meet someone on the playa. You don't start talking about frivolous things. That's a waste of your time, and then that if you're all there, you have a certain set of agreed upon values. It doesn't mean we like to do the same things. It doesn't mean we have the same attitudes. It means we value expression. We value truth to ourselves. We value doing things,
Immediacy.
So that, like, even if our lifestyles and our likes and dislikes are way off, we still have this respect and honor, and I recognize if you are into those things, you get that this is an awesome experience. You are a miracle, and so hey, I want to hear a little bit about what you're doing until I'm bored, and then I'm going to go on to the next one.
Right.
But if you can start to set that bar, then you just start attracting people like that, and then people start bringing their friends to be like that, and then people have friends like that. Burning Man, the reason I think we're so is because it's, for many of us, the first time we ever had that kind of rallying flag. Like, hey, this is the flag that means I don't care about the status quo. I care about art, creativity, immediacy, participation. That's what I care about.
Community, connection.
Yes. and so, but once you have the flag, you can put it anywhere and let people be drawn to it.
Yeah, one of the first places I stopped was Allentown, Pennsylvania, and I met this guy who had been going to festivals. That was his thing. He got away from his wife. He went off and did the festivals, and that was his thing. He went to all kinds of, not burner festivals, but other kinds of festivals, music festivals, this pagan festival up there, and then he stumbled across Playa del Fuego, and he was like, oh, this is where my people are.
Mm-hmm.
And then he brought his wife. And then he brought his neighbor. And now there's this community in Allentown. It's like 35, 40 people. They meet once a week for a potluck. They've created a fire troop performance. There's a circus group that's come out of this group of people who they've never been to Burning Man. They got bit by the bug at Playa del Fuego, and now they're creating a community of like-minded people in Allentown, Pennsylvania, where they're doing amazing stuff. And you can feel, one of the people at this potluck told me they arranged their entire social schedule around being able to be at this potluck. And it's that he got the flag from somebody who went to Burning Man and brought it back and planted it on a beach in Delaware, which then became Playa del Fuego. And he got the flag, and now he's planted it in Allentown, Pennsylvania, and now he's got a new community. And it's just, to me, that's like the beauty of what's going on. And to me, that's the golden silver lining of what's happening, because now people are going to be forced, almost. It's like, well, I'm not going to get to go to Burning Man. I'm not going to get to have this experience. Well, no, you can have the experience. Make it. Do it yourself. Trust me.
There's an interesting... someone was pointing out the parallel that, in the Summer of Love, and there was this kind of, all these radio kind of spread the word that there was something happening in San Francisco, and there was something magical. And so people from all over the country, just started taking buses and hitchhiking out to San Francisco, and the city could not handle it. And it overflowed, and then this thing that had this beautiful, just collapsed under the weight of more people too fast. And I was like, what an interesting parallel to the Playa. For us, it wasn't the radio, it's internet, but kind of we're now collapsing upon it. Now the challenge we have now is to then take the flags and spread out and distribute the energy so that we don't see it as an event, but we see it as a movement.
A lifestyle, a community, a culture. To me, that's that's the term. I like, it's a culture. There's a culture. Burning Man's a part of a different kind of culture that's in difference to consumer culture. There's participatory culture, which is Burning Man's a part of, Flipside's a part of, Art Car Parade's a part of, maker fairs. It's that, being an active creative agent. So I want to thank you for taking the time to talk to me, and to all you people out there.
Thank you.
Thank you.